Wall Street is looking to bring more investors over to the crypto side of investing here, and they're doing it through a form of a quote-unquote dividend payout here through a crypto ETF. In today's video, we're going to talk about this idea. How is this going to work? What is the difference between getting a dividend payout from a crypto ETF versus a regular company? Pros, cons, anything else you may need to know. So if you're excited for today's video or just curious to know what is going to happen here, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, turn on those bell notifications for all future uploads. So, Wall Street is looking at sweetening the deal for ETF holders in crypto. As you know, if you're not a crypto investor, you have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, you have Solana, you have Cardano. There's all these different cryptos, and it is a highly considered speculative market because obviously there's not a lot of, physical assets that come up with it. It's all, digitalized and stuff like that. And that's why there's a lot of skepticism behind it. I'm like, what does it actually do, right? Now, for me personally, I'm somebody who is an investor in Bitcoin. I'm buying up $6.70 every single day. And believe it or not, at the time of recording this, I am almost at break even, which is really, really awesome to see here. So, but without further ado, we're going to get into the actual idea behind what is going on with Wall Street here. Wall Street is giving crypto ETF investors another reason to stay, a yield on their holdings. Again, ETFs are exchange-traded funds, and basically, it's a way to invest in crypto without having to buy crypto directly. BlackRock has Bitcoin spot ETFs. They have Ethereum spot ETFs, like all these different kind of things there. Basically, they track the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever the case is without having you actually buy the actual, physical Bitcoin. Not even physical, that's on quotes, but they're actually buying actual Bitcoin and putting it onto your own cold wallet and stuff like that. You can buy into it through ETFs like these. On Thursday, asset management giant BlackRock, which I made a video about BlackRock and their, capping at withdrawing for their private credits, which is crazy enough, launched the staked Ethereum Trust ETF, ETHB, designed to give investors exposure to Ethereum while potentially generating income by staking part of the fund's holdings. And if you're sitting there saying, Fridge, what do you mean by staking a crypto like Ethereum? What does that actually mean? And this article kind of summarizes it in, the simplest way possible. Staking involves locking up the tokens to help validate and secure the Ethereum network, earning rewards in return. Basically, you are essentially, lending out your tokens, lending out your Ethereum tokens that you have here, and they use those tokens to help validate and secure more of the network on the blockchain and stuff like that. And since you are locking up, which again is the key words here, since you are locking up your crypto for some time, they say, you know what, with you wanting to lock up your crypto, we will give you a little bit of a return as a result. So you get a small percentage back in terms of staking rewards, which is what you would really get here. Robinhood right now actually does offer that as an example here. If you take a look at Ethereum on Robinhood, for example, and again, I used to have money in Ethereum. I kind of stopped after a while just because I was like, Bitcoin, I like that one better right now. They do have staking earnings. So basically, you do lock up your Ethereum for some time, and then you are able to get paid out a certain amount. Again, I'm not getting really paid out anything right now because I don't have any Ethereum in it, but that is essentially what it is that they are doing here. All right. It's somewhat akin to thinking about receiving a dividend from owning an equity, says Jay Jacobs, U.S. head of equity ETFs at BlackRock. And, of course, he's going to kind of hype it up a little bit because he obviously works for BlackRock, right? I mean, it's like, why would you not hype up your own product here? And it's not as similar as that. And there's arguments to both sides here as to what you're looking at. We'll get into both sides of the arguments here, for example. But we'll talk about this article first. I'll give you my kind of, ideas behind it. So make sure you stay tuned for this because you're going to hear my thoughts, my perspectives, some connections, all that kind of good stuff to really kind of get this good understanding of this here. So the potential for passive income differentiates the product from earlier Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, such as Bitcoin Trust ETF, IBIT, and the iShares Ethereum Trust ETF, ETHA, which primarily track the price of digital assets. Basically, again, it's the spot Bitcoin ETF. It's the spot Ethereum ETF that you'd see with those two there. But this one right here actually allows you to get passive income in terms of being paid out for staking rewards, okay, which is very, very interesting to know. Strategists note that fully staked Ethereum currently generates roughly 2.5 to 3% in an annual yield. That puts it above the S&P 500's 1.1% dividend yield, but below the roughly 4.2% yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury bond that you may want to invest into. Also, it puts you at about a little bit under, what the current high yield savings account rate is as well, which is about 3.25%, basically kind of tracking the interest rates and stuff like that. That's very important to know as well. I'm surprised I didn't mention that actually in this article here, that it actually is about a little bit lower than your average high yield savings account annual APR that you would get, or APY, I should say, you would get from it. So BlackRock aims to stake between 70 and 95% of the fund's holdings and make distributions on a monthly basis. So, you get paid every single month for, having this money staked on this ETF that you'll see. We've heard from various different clients and investors that they would like an option to be able to invest in Ethereum that also gives them the possibility of participating in the staking rewards associated with Ethereum. Okay, cool. As the tokenization of the real world assets and blockchains that are there, kind of talks more about cryptos and stuff like that. Trying to see if there's anything else I kind of liked about this article here. They also do already have ones where they have one for Avalanche stake, which is a different one, which I don't really do much with an Avalanche, for example, there. The firm enabled stake on its Grayscale Ethereum staking ETHE last year. The ETF distributed its first staking rewards to shareholders in January, paying them 8 cents per share you have of the ETF. And it marks the first time a US-listed spot crypto ETF passed staking profits directly to investors. Very, very interesting that you will see here. Now, this is kind of where the big idea is as to what would make this appealing to investors, right? While some traders may prefer the accessibility of owning the underlying asset directly, allowing them to stake it themselves or trade crypto around the clock, others may view ETFs as a more traditional investment option. People see in ETFs, like SPY, QQQ, SCHD, they're like, oh, ETFs got it. This is another ETF to have in your portfolio, right? And so in a way, you really think about it, a lot of people would stay away from the ETFs and go right into, Ethereum itself, like for example, on Robinhood or Coinbase or whatever it may be, because you get the staking, payouts as a result of owning the crypto and having it locked up for some time. But now it's like this ETF offers as well. So there are kind of ideas saying like, why would you need to invest in the actual crypto itself for the stake when you can just invest in our ETF and get the same stake reward? And that's pretty good. So that's kind of what their logic is thinking about as terms of, not having to go into a different account, into a different brokerage, to a different platform to then put your, crypto into it and then stake it. You can just do it right to this ETF here. The ETF, they do behind the scenes for you, which I guess, kind of makes sense. I kind of get it that way for that reason. Now, here's my thoughts, because the article is basically done here, okay? With the idea of staking, right? With staking this ETF, the big problem that you will face with this, and it's something to keep in mind, if you stake ETFs, or if you stake any kind of crypto, it is locked up for some time, okay? And if you ever want to unstake it, it's not just an instantaneous, I'm unstaking it, I'm good to go. It takes time. It's anywhere from maybe 2 weeks to maybe a month, depending on what you're looking at. But it takes time to unstake what you have frozen, right? Because you're locking it up there. You can't just instantaneously unlock everything. It takes time. So that is something to keep in mind about, is that a lot of this money in this ETF is going to be locked away and locked up on this staking idea for cryptos on the blockchain, right? And then they take the rewards they get and they pay it out to all their shareholders. It's like, okay. So that's something to keep in mind about, is that these ETFs are going to have your crypto locked away for however long they want to. And again, you are kind of trusting in them to make the decision to stake or unstake. Now, what's the problem with that? If Ethereum goes down in price, for example, you can't sell that Ethereum because it's locked away. And so what you will see with this kind of ETF is, as you will see, it is down 21.76% year to date. It has the yield right here. As you see, you get paid out here. But it is down 21% right now because crypto has had a bad start to the year. And if you had all this Ethereum staked, you can't just close it out. So what is that going to do to the actual ETF? It's going to have the price come down as a result of it. And that's what you're seeing here. So people are sitting there and they're being speculative about that on an asset like this, which makes sense because you're locking away your Ethereum, and if you want to sell it off before it crashes, you're not able to, right? That's one thing to keep in mind about. Another thing that people are skeptical about here is that they don't like how they're saying, Fridge, this is not a dividend payout. They call it a dividend to try to attract dividend investors, right? And it's not actually a dividend payout. Okay, it's a staking payout. Dividends that are paid out are based on company profits and earnings and cash flow to their shareholders. And like if I want to invest in Johnson & Johnson, for example, I can see what they're doing as a company, and I can then get paid out by looking at their balance statements, by looking at their balance sheets, by looking at their cash flow, and looking to see how they're able to generate enough cash to pay out their shareholders at the end of every single quarter. With crypto, and especially with Ethereum, there's nothing behind it. There's nothing backing it. It's all just like this, digitalized, asset that you're looking at, tokenization that you're looking at here. And it's not a dividend. It's staking rewards. So them classifying it as a dividend, to me, doesn't really fit the same build. You're getting staking rewards for them taking the money that you put in, buying Ethereum, then locking it up on the blockchain, and then paying people back as you go. Like, that's one thing to keep in mind about. Now, this also resembles this idea of covered call ETFs. Covered call ETFs kind of do a similar idea in this regard, but not quite the same. Now, a covered call ETF, I already had it ready to go here. As you can tell, I'm very well prepared. A covered call ETF is an ETF that uses a strategy called covered call writing, which basically you're selling calls against shares to generate income for the investors. And then the income that you collect, you are then able to then pay out. So that income is paid out to investors, every single month. Some do it every single week. Some might do it quarterly. These are things of how you would look at doing it here. Now, the thing about this, and there's the largest ones you'll see here, is QYLD, JEPI, JEPI, XYLD. These are all major cover call options here, which again is basically saying like, hey, we're going to sell some cover calls against our assets, and we're going to use that money to then pay out shareholders. Kind of in a similar, not directly one-to-one, but kind of similar because you're taking the Ethereum, locking it away, and then you're paying people out as a result of it. Same thing kind of happening here. You're selling cover calls against it and using that kind of premium to then pay back the investors. And if you're not familiar with what a cover call is, make sure you check out all my videos on it on Fridge Financials. We have a lot of stuff that's there as well. But here's the interesting thing about the whole thing. We learned that with Ethereum locking it up here, you're down, 21% right now at the time of recording this, and SPY is down like 1%, 1.5 or whatever it may be. So you would take a huge loss here. It's like, oh, wow, look at this nice payout of 0.69%. Oh, so I'm covering it. 0.69% right here. It's not doing much to you when you're down 21.76%. And if you take a look at these major cover call funds, these major cover call funds right now, year to date, are actually outperforming the S&P 500. JEPI is up 0.6%. You have QYLD, which is down 0.1%. And then you have the S&P, which is down 1.9%, as you will see right here. And you're like, oh my God, Fridge, like that, then what's the problem? What's the problem with this whole thing here? And, these kind of ETFs do very well in sideways markets, because the stocks themselves don't appreciate in value, the cover calls lose value quick, and then they're easy to use that money to then pay out shareholders. So they do pretty well in these sideways markets or even in down markets. The problem that you're going to face here is that selling cover calls means you are capping your upside potential. So you're capping your upside potential. So if we get a bull market, SPY's doing great, NVIDIA does great, Google does great, these cover call strategy ETFs here that pay out very high dividends here do not perform as well. So if you take a look at, say, the 1-year chart here, look at this. Here's SPY up at 18.87%. And then here's your nice little, cover call ETFs. Because, again, you're capping your upside with these cover calls here. And so that's kind of what's happening with, you think about, the Ethereum idea here, is that if you lock up your Ethereum, it's not options plays, it's staking rewards. But if you lock up your Ethereum for a long term here, you may get the downside risk that comes with it, because if we get a bad crypto cycle and the market sells off like it already has so far, as you see, you can't get out of the Ethereum. you might be able to sell you might be able to sell off your money in the ETF, for example, but they can't offload their Ethereum, and that's going to impact their price, as you will see. So it's a very interesting way to do it. I, for one, personally am not someone who's going to be on the page of this. As someone who does believe in somewhat cryptos, mostly just Bitcoin right now, for example, I don't like how they said, hey, it's a quote-unquote dividend. It's not a dividend. And I think they're trying to grab those dividend investors and say, hey, guys, we pay out a dividend in terms of Ethereum. We're the first one to do it here. You get paid out to hold Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, but you get paid to hold crypto. Oh, my God, how cool is that? And it doesn't work as I don't know how well it's going to work, I should say. I want to say it's not going to work because it may not. But right now, we can see that cryptos has been doing very, very bad so far. And you're locked up for a while in Ethereum. You can't do anything with it, but you get paid out, pennies on the dollar for it being in this ETF here. So very, very interesting. I'll be curious to see how this ETF performs in the long term. But again, right now, it is not doing well at all. Down 21% here. And again, if you're like, oh, you like the passive income approach, these cover call ETFs also don't do as well long term because you cap your upside, as you see right here. It's just a bunch of dividend over and over and over and over again. And it's good for the passive income approach of things, but you're missing out on that big market moves to the upside. And I wonder if it'll be the same thing for, obviously, this Ethereum ETF here, as you will see, down 22%, whereas SPY's down 2%. Where would you have your money right now, So that is it for today's video. Again, craziness they're looking at here. They're going to allow you to get paid out through a dividend, not actually, from holding a Ethereum, I don't know why I say it like that, through holding an Ethereum ETF. I'm not someone who's a believer in this right now. I'm just going to keep buying a Bitcoin, just kind of letting it go and doing it from there. But that's just my 2 cents, of course. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did make this part of the video, as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, check out the Fridge Financials memberships, as you will see over there. Myself and Ryan did a podcast yesterday. We had some good trade ideas that we'll be probably executing. At least I'll be executing some of my trades probably by the end of the week. And that by itself will probably pay for at least 1 month of that membership there and then some on top of it. So feel free, of course, to take a look at it. Hopefully making money in the market in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through dividends, through cover call ETFs, through staking, I guess, on this ETF for Ethereum here, or in other ways. Who really knows? There's plenty of ways to make money in the market. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.